applies to
Forgot.
the
Yeah.
identification process.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's also like to see it while it's happening, the identification with form and everything. I think that's kind of tremendously, that's a big step.
Here, the Buddha said that when six organs unify their divided function, so it occurred to me that when we really in tune, obtains we doing, according to many researchers, that they say that as much as we really in tune of doing anything else, that's the moment we enjoy the most. It makes sense?
Yeah.
Like either you do the biking, trekking, swimming, and so forth. When you really focus your mind and you really in tune up biking, swimming, and so forth, that movement is so enjoyable. That movement, what they call here, the six organs unified, right? We won't think much about other things. We just focus on that moment, focus on that activity. That's one activities only. That's what they call, so become or embracing the red mirror. That's a pure nature there. So yeah, I just spoke with Dr. Michael about this thing too. When we are living with the present moment, when we are in tune with things what we are doing, do one thing at a time. That's what we enjoy the most. We live with that type of red mirror, with kind of wisdom there. We go beyond the duality. We go beyond the analytical thinking, good, bad, happiness, sadness, and so forth, right? We go beyond the fluctuation of the feeling, thinking, emotion, and so forth. And like we go beyond the clouds of feeling, emotion, thinking. When we fly above the cloud, when we fly up there, it's all pure. When we unify our systems organ, this is pure clear, huh? But here, they can bestow upright bless, gracious, and respect inspiring girl on the childless parents who want daughter. You know why is that?
And this is the Buddhas they're referring
Yes.
to.
They're the Buddhas, yes. How come? How come they provide uh, the beautiful girls, upright, blessed girl to the childless parents? Why is that?
Yeah, and how does it connect to the rest of this paragraph? That's what that is. I'm unsure of. I'm not sure.
I think as much as the childless parents have that type of sincerity to pray. So at the moment that they have that kind of sincerity, it match with the mind of Buddha. That's pure mind there, right? The sincere mind is the pure mind, right? That match with the pure nature, with the blessing of the Buddha is there. It's like when we turn the radio channel, right? So we can turn the right channel. We can catch the voice clear. We can get the clear voice or the sound from that channel. Yeah, that's why, of course, this one is more in the spiritual realm. So basically, if the childless parents, they pray with the sincere mind to have a daughters. So that type of sincerity is matchable with the pure mind, with the Buddha pure nature or the Buddha blessing. That's why they can bestow the daughters of the son according to the wish of the parents. You make sense now? What do you think?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think I told you, right? I met them, this couples, American disciples of my master, couple of them.
Mhm.
I mean, two couples. That means four of them. So, because of the sincerity, they asked our master to bestow the son for them because they were childless before. So after the whole assembly done or even during the time that the whole assembly or the whole temple doing the Wang Yin section, the compassionate section, so a master would transfer the merit for them. And it happened, two couples, not one couple, they got the son, and they met one of them. He's so handsome. He looked so handsome when he was still at my temple in California. So this another thing. Of course, let's talk about the speech in the spiritual realm. So how could someone transfer the merit to others, especially in this case, in the case of a master? How could he transfer that merit to them?
Could it simply be through his intention and maybe relying upon the power of the bodhisattvas and the Buddhas as well?
Mm-hmm. It's like the concave mirror, you know that concave mirror, when people can want to catch the fire,
Mm-hmm.
concave mirror, right? So the sunlight
Yeah.
shine to that concave mirror so that
Uh-huh.
it start the fire.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, our computer, our laptop is one of the concave mirror. We get the energy um uh, invisibly, right? So that we can see each other. Another way that our master uh, mm, uh, transfer his merit. When you don't understand what means transfer merit, right? That's mean like when you have the candle, right? They light the candle and you light my candle. Your candle light still there, and the more you light for others, the brighter area is, right? This is called transfer the merit. So
Mm-hmm.
because of this sincere mind and pure mind, and of course his virtue too, that's why he could transfer that kind of merit after the one yin session to them. That's why they got the sons. And for them, probably, yes, they have the sincere mind too, but it's not enough yet. Is it make sense now, right? You see?
Okay.
Yeah. So someone light the candle light for you, help you to light your candles. That's what they call transfer the merit.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, it's not easy. It's depend upon the cultivators. If they have the pure mind, they can transfer the merit. Otherwise, it's not easy. Okay, so that's just that. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, you like to do number
Okay.
14.
In this great Chiliocosm, which contains 100 lakhs of suns and moons, there are now bodhisattvas countless as sand grains in 62 Ganges rivers. They practice the Dharma to set a good example to all living beings by befriending, teaching, and converting them. In their wisdom, their expedient methods differ. Because I used one penetrating organ, which led to my realization through the faculty of hearing, My body and mind embrace the whole Dharma realm, in which I teach all living beings to concentrate their minds on calling my name. The merits that follow are the same as those derived from calling on the names of all these bodhisattvas. World honored one, my single name does not differ from those uncountable ones because of my practice and training which led to my true enlightenment. These are the 14 fearless powers which I bestow upon living beings.
Mm.
Ah, yeah. So here, Avalokiteshvara is saying something pretty interesting, that it seems that even if we call any bodhisattva's name, then Avalokiteshvara bestows um, these blessings. But here in the beginning, it's saying, okay, yeah, uh, it's saying that in the Chiliocosm, which I think it's this, the Chiliocosm, it's like I think it's a multi-dimensional world, right?
Yeah.
It's really expansive. So it's saying there are these countless bodhisattvas, and they're practicing the Dharma and befriending and teaching and converting people. Um, and that Avalokiteshvara used the sense organ of hearing in order to realize enlightenment, and teaches living beings to concentrate on calling his name. And it seems that you could actually call the name of any bodhisattva, and he still bestows these 14 fearless powers. And it makes sense that he's saying he's no different than, so kind of coming to the rest of those are the same as those derived from calling on the names of all these bodhisattvas. My single name does not differ from those uncountable names because of my practice and training, which led to true enlightenment. And that makes sense to me, because in true enlightenment, the true self is not different. Like, it's not like, okay, Avalokiteshvara's true self is slightly different than Erstor Bodhisattva's true self. It's like there's no difference at all. Um, so that makes sense to me, that you could call on any name of a bodhisattva, and you would get these blessings.
Yeah, and also in some sutra I say that when we call or recite one Buddha names, it's similar as we design limitless Buddha names, and vice versa. Uh, so again, like you say, because they attain that true enlightenment already. So if they decide the name of Shakti Buddha, if they decide the name of Master Buddhas, and so forth and so forth, it's similar as they just decide one name of Amitabha Buddha name. That's all. So the one meaning is that as much as we focus on one, and as much as we attain that kind of what we call sincerity, that kind of concentration, that type of one mind, one thought, right? That's the true enlightenment there. That we are in line with the energy, with like the pure nature, Buddha nature, with all Buddhas there. So it's different from the mundane views, right? When you do one, it's not enough. You have to do more, right?
10,000.
10,000, 100,000, and so forth, right? Let's say if you build a house, not enough. You need to build 2, 10, 20, 80, 100,000, so forth. But in Buddhist, it's quite different.
Yeah, and I could see, some people will relate more to medicine Master Buddha, or more to Amitabha, or more to another. So having these different options
Mhm.
are helpful for living beings. And then some people may be more motivated to recite 10,000. They may feel like, oh, if I recite one, like that's just one. Why don't I recite a bunch of different ones? And so, like where their mind is, the teachings can meet them there. And yeah.
That's the beauty of Mahayana principle, right? We have plenty of what they call the celestial Buddhas, the celestial Bodhisattva, for us to focus on, for us to decide to rely upon instead of one. But in Theravada tradition, no way. They just trust or believe in Shakti Buddha, historical Shakti Buddha, and the future Buddha. That's mean Maitreya Buddha. That's all. That big difference.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting. It seems like a natural question that someone would think of pretty readily. Like, hey, were there any Buddhas before Shakyamuni Buddha? That would, yeah.
You know what? In Sri Lanka, they celebrate the past life of the Buddha. That's mean they have. That's why we have the checkered tail, right?
Mhm.
The past life of the Buddha. But somehow they don't believe in the Bodhisattva path, Bodhisattva precept, and so strength. They believe in the past life of the Buddha. I mean, Shakti Buddha, the one that gone through this Bodhisattva path. That's why
Mhm.
they detail the story again and again, so many generations, and it's still passed up to now. But
Yeah.
it's so clear for me that they don't believe in Bodhisattva path. It's picked up by the Mahayana tradition.
Yeah, because they like in the Lotus Sutra they talk about how people like what is it, living beings, dull in capacity, can't believe that they themselves could become Buddhas.
And that's why I think Mahayana tradition uh, depart uh, from the conservative one, because without Bodhisattva path, how could we have the historical Buddha now, right? Without walking on the path of Bodhisattva, without acting as Bodhisattva in the past, how could he become Buddha now? So they should have some kind of path. They should have some kind of principle, traditions, and so forth for most of Bodhisattva in the past practice and follow that path so that they can become Buddha in future. It makes more sense. Otherwise, it gets like, okay, only historical Buddha, the one that practiced the Bodhisattva path in the past, and that's why he could accumulate his wisdom and merits so that now he could become Buddha. Only him. That doesn't make sense.
Well, then there's because there's Maitreya too,
Yeah, that doesn't
and
make sense.
Maitreya being a member in the assembly, it seems like, well, okay, then surely someone another member of the assembly in the Buddha could, become a Buddha, and then they're gonna have members in their assembly,
Yeah,
and one of them will probably become a Buddha, and then God.
that's
Yeah,
why.
it's interesting. It seems almost a little like a willfulness to not follow the logic through, to not really think about it logically or clearly.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just, yeah, with that practicing Buddhist path, how could he become Buddha now? And they talk about the past Buddha. I think 25 Buddha in the past, 28 Buddha in the past, including certain Buddhas. And how could they become Buddha then?
Oh, so they do in Theravada they talk about past Buddhas.
28 past Buddha, including Shakti Buddha. Have you read that type of story before?
No, no, I haven't.
I
Mm-mm.
yeah, I think I will share with you. I will email to you. Sorry, let me search.
Okay.
Yeah, somehow they translate from Pali into English in the Burmese tradition. Let me share with you here. Yeah, it's so strange. Let's see here. Let's see, one, two. it talk about 28. Let me see here. Yeah. Sorry, I mean, we'll pull out another one here. You never read those kind of story?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I will show you here.
I mean, I think I know about this being like a good kalpa and
Yeah,
there
here,
be
see, you heard about this Buddha, right? Dipan Kara.
yes, I think in one of the books you gave me, I think this looks like this is in one of the books you gave me maybe, but I haven't read it yet.
This Buddha gave the prediction to the Bodhisattva that lie down on the mud to spread his hair on the mud so that the Buddhas and the other monks would walk on his hair. And after that, this Buddha gave the prediction that in future you become second Buddha.
I remember that. We talked about that not too long ago.
See that? She says this is all kind of Buddha. She, yeah, Kasha Buddha and so forth. So these are, have you never read this kind of, see, 24 Buddhas?
No.
All right, I can email to you then. It's interesting. Yeah,
Okay.
open our views. And I think in the future, somehow, if somehow we can connect the dot, the missing dot between Mahayana and Theravada through this kind of Buddhism, Bodhisattva is be great for the people in the future. To see Buddhism is the whole spectrum of principle, the path of enlightenment, the path to attain Buddhahood, and so forth. Theravada, they just stop with second Buddha, and that's all. But in Mahayana tradition, yes, we move on to have all kind of celestial Buddha, all kind of celestial Bodhisattva. That in Theravada tradition, they don't believe in that. But they talk about Buddha in the past. It's so you say it's so illogical, right?
Yeah.
For the Buddha in the past, of course, they talk about the Buddha in future. It's just that's Maitreya. I don't know. It's some missing part there. You missing dot there. You see that? They have 24. You understand what I'm talking about? They have 24 Buddha in the past, but only
Yeah.
one Buddha in future. It makes sense?
No, it doesn't make any sense. No.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know why they reject the idea of celestial Buddhas and Bodhisattva.
Well, it really seems to validate what the Mahayana says, the explanation of why there is this split. It's because they just couldn't accept it. They couldn't understand a certain level of the teaching, and so they denied it. And then in what they have, you can see that it's really it's implying what the Mahayana says. It's not implicitly saying it, but it's implying what's taught in the Mahayana. And so it's for those in the Mahayana who don't deny it, it's very affirming. This sort of information, I think, is very affirming that yeah, the Mahayana is true.
Well, up to now, I have not come across or encounter any kind of content commentaries about this kind of missing dot.
Oh, really?
Not yet.
Oh,
We
well,
talk about in Mahayana tradition, we talk about all kinds of celestial Buddhas. Like we have the book of 10,000 names of Buddhas, but somehow they don't have that kind of connection of this missing dot that try to convince people here. Here's the proof. The Buddha in the past, according to Theravada tradition, here we have only one Buddha in future. Doesn't make sense. So that's why it's come about. It's come with all kinds of celestial Buddhas like Amitabha Buddha, Master Buddha, and so forth. It's so logical. Buddha in the 10 direction.
Mhm.
Somehow up to now I have not read those couple of commentaries yet. Yeah, so wow. If later on we can work on that, this is wonderful for people to recognize why it is a bit different, but somehow why they stop. They stop at uh, Maitreya Buddha. And we do more research about the third tradition, whether they talk more about another future Buddha or not. I will find out. I will try to do some research
Yeah.
about it. Yeah. And remember, oh, okay, they talk about 24 Buddhas in this compass. Not only this, only this compass, right? How about other compass? You see that? So they live
Yeah.
in this compass, that's all. Yeah, so here I see oh boy. Yeah. Oh, okay. They make yeah, this is one here in the lab store anyway. Okay, so that's just really wonderful. And then come back here. Come back to oh yeah, go back to the point we talked about. This means that whenever they attain the pure nature, right? They attain the enlightenment, so that natures are the same, right? Not different. So if we decide one of their names is like we decide all of their names. If we decide the compassion Bodhisattva, is like we decide all the names of all Buddhas and Bodhisattva, because this Bodhisattva inherits all the wisdom through his or her enlightenment, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, let's see here. Are you understand about the 14 fearless power? Oh, right here. Okay, this
I don't remember them.
the
I
four.
feel like I've gone over them a few years back, but I don't remember them.
Yeah, let me type this. See here. The 14. Yeah, in Vietnamese version we have that. I'm sorry, it's a mistake. Yeah, let's skip this one. Yeah, let me the 14 powerless up. Let me type here.
Are those what we just went over? Because they were numbered like up to 14.
That's different. That's different. Yeah, the 14 powerless of Guan Yin. Uh, of they say about four. They say mention about four fearlessness, the Buddha. Okay, we'll do more. Yeah, let me do more research about the 14 pound. Oh, right here. Yeah,
Mhm.
14 pound. Oh, we just mentioned probably just talk about this in this sutra. That's all. Yeah, I mentioned about it here. We'll do more research about this 14 pound.
It looked like there was a result under just the 14 fearlessnesses in Buddhism.
Hmm.
It looked like it didn't, there was a page that had it like that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, right here. 14 kind of fearlessness which emanate from my body. Since I myself do not meditate on the sound but on the meditators, I cause all suffering beings to look into the sound of their voice in order to obtain liberation. So these are the 14 here. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, 14 here. Have you ever read this one before?
The first one sounds familiar, but let me see. Absolute source.
Yeah, that's one here.
Yeah, I feel like we've read these, or I've maybe read them when I was learning the Sanskrit version of the Nilankanta Dharani.
No, we talk about 32 transformation of this Bodhisattva. What we have not mentioned about the 14 kind of fearlessness yet.
This seems very familiar. I feel like, hmm, yeah, maybe when I was learning, because I learned the Sanskrit version of the Nilankanta Dharani through like I found it online,
Oh, okay.
and I think there was an explanation along with it.
Okay. Yeah.
But there's years ago.
Okay, so these are the 14 fearlessness power that this Bodhisattva will bestow, right? By stopping wrong thinking and thereby cleanse their mind of the harmfulness and lead them to safety when they wander in the realm of evil ghosts. That's one of the power, her power. When we recite her names, right? He will lead us to the proper way.
Mhm.
That's why this Bodhisattva is so popular, right? So this Bodhisattva met this type of 14 fearlessness vows. Okay, let's move on then. Yeah. All right. Move on once. Okay. Because of my perfect understanding, which led to my attainment of the supreme path, I acquired four inconceivable absolute virtue. The first one, when I first realized the hearing mind, which was most profound, the sense of mind, or the Tathagata store, disengaged itself from hearing and could no longer be divided by seeing, hearing, feeling, and knowing, and so become one pure and clean observation, precious Buddhi. This is why I can take on different wonderful forms and master countless number of esoteric mantra. I can appear with 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 up to 108, 1000, 10,000, and 84,000 70 card prices with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24, and up to 108, 1000, 10,000, 84,000 arms, making various gesture or mudra, and with 2, 3, 4, 9, up to 100, 108, 1000, 10,000, 84 cleansed and pure precious eyes, either merciful or wrathful, and in the state either of still imperturbability or dhyana samadhi, or of absolute wisdom, prajna to self and protect beings, living beings, so that they can enjoy great freedom. Wow, it's so incredible, right?
Mhm.
How? How can that Bodhisattva, how can this Bodhisattva realize the hidden nature that unite, right? That unite all the that go beyond the seeing, the hearing, the feeling, the knowing. It's the same. The same is like the six sense organ unite for one as one, right? When we hear, we just hear, we just be with the here nature, and that's the moment that we live with the pure nature there. Like we talk about hitting the bell, right? The
Mhm.
bell, the sound is still there. It doesn't mean that we wait until we hit the bell to hear the sound, but the here nature is still there. It's all pervasive there. It's everlasting there. but for us, we wait for hitting the bell to hear the sound. That's why we get stuck here. But for this Bodhisattva, yes, he recognized the pure nature, hidden nature. And that's why this Bodhisattva can appear in any form of life, appear 24,000 faces, 24,000 arms, 84,000 eyes, and so forth. And of course, we have the Sati of 1,000 hand, 1,000 hand. Her eyes is similar to 84,000 too. Is it incredible? But
Oh yeah.
what do you think in practical sense, in the logical sense? It makes sense? What do you think?
Well, they're like common logic, I would say no, doesn't make sense. Common logic. But if I'm thinking about it and the explanation, like, is it an understandable explanation from where, my understanding? The disengagement of the Tathagata store, or the essence, the essence of the mind from the hearing, like that's disengage itself from hearing. It could no longer be divided. So then the essence can no longer be divided, came pure, clear, and all pervading. And that's why Avalokiteshvara can take on all these forms and master these mantras. Yeah. So the like no longer identifying with sense information, that creates a state of freedom, of like resting in the essential nature without denying the essential nature in order to try to get stuff in the sense world, to achieve something there. Yeah, I mean it makes sense that something new could happen if our at the very core of the way we experience self and the way we relate to sense information, if at the very core that transforms, well, that something new could happen there that's kind of unexpected and beyond our normal understanding of how things work. Yeah, that this essential nature, that there, if it's the essence of everything, if it's like one with everything and the essence of everything, that there's some sort of supernatural powers that one who can uh you know realize it, that makes sense, that like at least a little bit, not like mathematical necessarily, but it has a reasonableness to it.
What do you think about this? It's only few minimum amount of nuclear material need to raise the nuclear bomb, to raise that type of huge energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar in a way. What do you think?
That so that you need these two different isotopes.
I mean that we have, let's say, we have all kind of chemical elements, right?
Yeah.
The metal, the aluminum, and so on and so forth, right? But these particular chemicals can create huge energy.
Oh yeah.
What I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, just the energy stored in any atom, the
Yes,
amount of energy stored inside an atom. Yeah, it's astounding.
this is great. The mass energy. It,
Yeah.
I try to explain in the logical way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like the pure mind, right? Like the pure mind of Buddha and Bodhisattva, after they attain that type of level of mind, after they attain what they call the pure mind or enlightenment, so whatsoever, it's like this type of chemical. It's so
Mm-hmm.
pure, it's so powerful, it's made great tremendous energy.
So like the energy of the awakened mind, it's kind of like how that energy, if in the unawakened mind, it's like you have the atom. In the awakened mind, it's like you like the energy stored in that atom.
Mm-hmm.
but the atom can appear to not really have much energy. It's kind of stable in that configuration, but really there's this tremendous, yeah, that makes sense.
Logical way, because it's not
Yeah.
possible for us to explain how could they appear 84,000 faces, how 84,000
Yeah.
arms, how 84,000 eyes, and so forth.
Right. That you someone could say the same thing about how could you take I don't know how much they use to make the bomb. I think it's like, it's in pounds. I don't know if it's tens of pounds or hundreds of pounds.
Mhm.
But yeah, the bomb is relatively small and then what it creates is
Yeah.
massive. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good analogy.
Let's
Yeah,
see
I think that works.
how much, I don't know how much they
Yeah.
use, or even the nuclear bomb that they dropped in the Hiroshima.
Mhm.
Uh, well, anyway, department. Okay, anyway. Mm,
Yeah, I was just reading a book about the how the this actually affected the Navajo Indians quite a bit.
mhm. And
They're they're seeking for ore rich in uranium to make the bomb and to like make future bombs. They ended up like destroying the Navajo people because it was on their land and they were mining it and nobody warned them about the health hazards.
mhm.
But that's a separate thing altogether.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why they call here nuclear fission reaction. That's an atomic bomb. And now nowadays you heard about the fusion energy. You heard about that?
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, fusion energy. So they create that type of energy, right? To what,
Hmm.
to heat up the. I think they say probably sometime next year they will have that type of commercialized fusion energy.
Oh wow, that'd be amazing if it was ready by then. That'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah. New nuclear fusion and plasma physics research. Okay, okay, so that what they try to create the energy for the future. Let me go back again. The point is that yes,
Hmm.
in the spiritual realm, yes, definitely we believe that Buddha can appear in any form, 84,000 limitless form of life so that they can rescue. But in the practical sense, right, in logical sense, we can use this kind uh, of reaction, right, nuclear reaction, and fusion, and so forth, to explain how only few powers of chemical that create the tremendous energy that destroy things, that burn everything, right? So that's why
Yeah.
it's just some kind of chemicals. If we don't know, we may harm ourselves and others. If we know, we can create energy for ourselves. Right? Yeah. Anyway, uh, mm, yeah, to stand protect living beings so that they can enjoy the red wisdom. So one more times, for Buddha and Red Bodhisattva, they know how to use this energy, right, to rescue beings. But for human beings, yes, we intelligent, we smart, but if we don't know how to use this energy, maybe the destruction.
Hmm.
If we misuse them, we misuse the energy, right? That nuclear reaction and fusion, right? If we put them in the wrong hand, wrong people, or wrong mind, even for us too, or wrong movement, we may drape all kind of bad karma there. So our mind
Yeah.
powerful in both way, right? In positive and negative. Yeah. That's why I discourage my student that don't join the army, don't join the military, because whenever you go there, you either kill other or other kill you. And even some of my friends, They got the engineering, and something they work for the defense. You know defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
They trade, they develop atomic bomb, they develop tank and so forth, or generally weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Even they're civilians, but they still trade a bad karma when the soldier or when the government use those nuclear bomb, those tank, those type of missile and so forth. They
My
take part of that type of destruction.
my grandfather had developed some patents for missile guiding systems. He
Really?
was an electrical engineer, so I forget which company he worked for, but yeah, he definitely contributed to some of that.
Yeah. So again, if we don't know how to use those kind of energy, we harm ourselves. We destroy our life. That's why we need Bodhisattva and Buddhas. They utilize their pure mind, their pure energy to help sentient beings. That's all.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, please, number 2.
Because of my meditation by means of the organ of hearing, which resulted in my disengagement from the sixth sense data, like a sound going through a wall without hindrance, I can, with each appearance and with the aid of each mantra, bestow fearlessness upon suffering beings in countries as countless as dust in the 10 directions, in which I am regarded as the giver of dauntlessness. Okay, so Avalokiteshvara can bestow fearlessness um, upon those who call for his help. And that's, dauntlessness, same thing as fearlessness. So it makes sense. The title, giver of dauntlessness. And this power comes from enlightenment. And yeah, right. If there's one true nature, then everything is one within that. It seems like that would be a way, like that connection is already there, so that we wouldn't have to wonder, like, well, how can Avalokiteshvara hear me? That it's if we're all united in the essential nature, then that'd be the means.
I remember that when it was, I think, 3 or 4 in Vietnam. At that time, the war still going on, and somehow we live in Saigon City, but somehow I think remember that 19 either it's 1973 or 74. So in our neighborhood, somehow there was a fire. You know, in Vietnam, the house they built actually in my neighborhood. Um, so they build a house back to back, like like the what they call the duplex. Duplex, right? The
Mm-hmm.
triplex, the fourplex.
Mm-hmm.
So the house back to back, right? So the wall of one house linked to the other wall of the house, other house, and so forth and so forth for the whole neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
One section, I think we have at least, 20 house. So if something happened in one house, it will affect to the whole section of the house in that neighborhood. And what happened then? I think at that time somehow at one house some kind of fire over there. It's not my house. But what happened then? At that time I was too young. My brother is too young too, too little to carry the big one, the heavy one. So my mom somehow she used all her energy to move. The sofa, the what do you call it? The sofa, right? It's just it's
Mm-hmm.
like to sit sofa, right? It's big,
Yeah, sofa or couch, either one.
it's big heavy.
Yeah.
We need at least minimum is two big guy to carry. But somehow at that moment she carried it out of the house by herself.
Wow.
After they extinguished the fire, she didn't have enough power to bring in.
Yeah.
You see, when our mind is so pure, right? When our mind
Mhm.
is so concentrated, so focused, you can do a lot of things. And this makes sense here too. When her because of her meditation that that disengaged from the system, that has means her mind so pure. That's why she could bestow any blessing to any sentient beings. And it's applicable to us too, right? And do you know the story of the Kumarajiva, the one that the great translator of
Oh,
this Lotus Sutra?
was he the one who cut his flesh and put the scrolls inside of it?
No, no, that's different.
No, darn it.
The one that went
Oh,
and
wait, is what?
Kumarajiva. Do you hear about this?
Was he the one who had a brother?
No,
No, I'm
no.
thinking that's Vasubandhu. That's Vasubandhu. Ah, Kumarajiva. I've heard the name. I can't pull up a.
Yeah, I wrote the master the MA thesis about him. Anyway, so when he was young, so when he went to one temple when he was only 7 years old, and somehow when he went to that temple, they have the big urn. You here look at here. There's big urn. You see that? And
Mhm.
our temple,
Yeah.
the urn here. So but huge, in China it's huge, not like this. Even that this one, but look, think about 7-year-old boy. Even
Mhm.
for us, for this little or one of us, we cannot carry that. We cannot lift it up. Not talking about the 7-year-old boys. So
Mhm.
somehow one day he went to the temple and he saw that urn. He lifted up by himself. Even he's still 7. And at that moment he thought, oh, I'm only 7. How could I handle? How could I lift up this urn? The moment that he had that thought, it's too heavy for him to drop it out. That's just really story funny. So anyway, this is applicable in our life. As much as we really focus in our mind, we can do a lot of things. And that's why it's to say that in this case, this Bodhisattva disengaged from the system data. So I get focused on the pure healing nature that she or he could bless any sentient being that pray for his or her name because of their sincerity that matchable with her pure mind, right?
Mhm.
Anyway, so yeah, it's better for us to use nowadays technology, whichever, to explain about Buddha nature, or some of this type of miracle, right, or strange phenomena that common people could not understand, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so that's time up now. Let's just stop it today.
Okay.